Yo, we talking the Housewives. We're back, and I don't know. Y'all think the Housewives are hitting it this season, or are they a snooze fest? Stay tuned. What up, y'all? Welcome to this weekly review. It's your boy, DJ Jesse J, and Jesse Janity, whatever you want to call me, all the things. I got my homegirl, you already know, Miss Stewart Starlet in the building. What up, Courtney?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's happening? Wanna be with me? That's right. Shake your ass to the. That's right. Hey. All right. I know I've been gone for a minute. I said we gonna be consistent with it, and then I left y'all for 2 weeks. Sorry, I know,
Me
but
too, honey. The work.
I had to work. You know what I mean? And when the reality cast goes into quarantine, into sequestering, I got to do it with them. So I couldn't be here, but I can talk about the fact that I did work on Love is Blind, season 6 that you guys are watching now. The cat's out the bag. I can talk about that. And I can talk about that they released that Perfect Match. Season 2 is coming out, and I also worked on that. So that's my little update for you guys. So we're going to talk about Love is Blind as well. Let's just start with it, actually. Courtney, have you been watching this season?
I, unfortunately, for my mental health, yes, I have. Oh gosh. I mean, look.
What's your overall take for the season? Like, who were you liking? Who were you rooting for? Or did you jump on the hate Clay bandwagon? Because that's my thing for me, is like, it's so funny to watch. Like last week, I think it was last week, being on Twitter and watching everyone talk about AD and Clay. It's such a
Yeah.
unique experience working on a show and knowing people, understanding editing, understanding actual timing of things, and seeing people's reaction to it. And it's fascinating. So what's your overall kind of rundown of who you liked, who you didn't?
Okay. So pre-reunion, I look, I don't like nobody because I just feel like it's not I really haven't watched since, like, that's not true. I have watched probably all of the seasons, but not intensely. Like I was gonna
No,
say,
it's definitely a show you
there,
just put on. You know what
I
I mean?
haven't.
And do
Yeah,
stuff.
you just put it on and like kind of see some of the couples, because when like I saw some of the reunion today, but I haven't been able to fully watch it. I saw some of the couples. I was like, oh yeah, I have watched since the first season, because the first season remains the good season that felt real, and I believe in the love of Lauren and the other dude whose name I never remember. I just call them Lauren. But this season was entertaining, but it still felt like a whole lot of bullshit. And I just, I didn't love anybody. I was obviously rooting for AD, but I also felt like, because there have been so many complaints in the past about how the Black women on Love is Blind don't really get the camera time and actually making any connections and all of that. So it kind of felt like they were trying to push hard to show, look, we got Black folks this time. And AD, sweet girl, means well. I want it better for her. And Clay, I was suspect of as soon as they met in person. I mean, playing in the pods, like, okay, he's maybe, I don't know. But then once they met, I was like, this ain't it. This ain't gonna work. This ain't it. But then he kept pushing so hard to make us believe that he was in it and in it for real. And then to get up on that stage when it's time to say I do and say, you are the love of my life, but like, I'm not ready for marriage. Brother, the whole show is about getting married. Why didn't you marinate your thoughts on whether or not you was ready for marriage before you came on the show about getting married? And
Okay.
that's why I had a problem.
Okay, and
That's why I
I hear
would.
that, you guys. I really hear that because that's the across the board. So I do want to say though, I really do want to say, this is an experience that I can truly say out of working on a lot of reality shows that I feel like most, and I work very closely with the cast on whenever I do a show. Out of all the shows I've worked on, this is one that I feel like people who are coming on it genuinely are not really coming on it for fame. Some are, and I think like Trevor, you can sense certain things with it. But I don't feel like Clay was one of those people personally. Um, I do know that signing up for this show, it's like the ultimatum. Like, absolutely not, never doing the never going on the If my man is like, oh, we want to go on this, I'm like, that's the ultimatum. Bye. Like, we're done. We're done. We don't even need to go on the show because the fact you even want to go on it is crazy to me. The thing, so with Love Is Blind, it's like the idea is like a lot of these guys, they do want a relationship. And I've always said this across the board with reality shows. I feel like the age demographic just is wrong. I feel like you're pulling too young of people that are not ready for a marriage. In their mind, they think they are. And it's a cool experience to get to know somebody behind, they're not really talking to each other as long as y'all think. I don't know how long. How long do you think that they actually get to talk to these people? Like, that's another question. Like, I'm just curious to see what you think.
I have no idea. I just know that they always be talking about like there's so much more like time that's spent than we see. I would imagine they go on what, a 30 hour date maybe in the pods. Is
A
it an
30
hour?
hour, an hour date?
Hour dates? Are they like there in a pod at a time, like an hour? How long are the dates? I have no idea.
Well, it starts off 15 minutes and you're like going through a whole bunch of different people. And then after that, as you start to kind of match up with people, then you can, take a little longer. But usually it's like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And then you can do night dating, which they kind of let you do a little bit longer. But honestly, a lot of this is like when you go on any reality show, you are being sequestered. And what that is when you're not on camera, you're sitting in a hotel room by yourself. And you're living in this world with your thoughts and feelings. And one thing I've really realized with meeting so many people that do these shows is a lot of them are not, they're learning themselves as a person because this is such an experience. A lot of them are, it's like we have your phone, you have your phone on you 24/7, right? They're now without a phone, sitting around for sometimes hours and hours, thinking about who did I just talk to. Like your whole life, every day is like a week there.
But on
So
Love Is Blind, are the people, so like the girls, are they just together like for a short
honestly,
period
the
of
girls and the
time?
girls hang out with the girls more than they hang out with the guys, and the guys hang out with the guys. It's almost like I could see bromances happening. Like in my mind, I was like, "Oh, this would be really cool." Like as a gay man, I would love to like be able to do something like this. But then I'm like, how would you do it? Like you'd have to sequester every single person individually because you couldn't have a whole group of gay guys in one room because then they'd be fucking each other. Like it's like it just wouldn't. It wouldn't work. So unfortunately.
But like, so when they are in the dating pods or whatever, but and it to the audience, it's supposed to look like the women are all living together in this area, and then the men are all living and socializing in another area. So they're not actually together that long. Is it just during the time of them dating? How much time do they actually spend in like the community? We are all in the women's side together.
Oh no, all day. I mean, they're again like their connection with each other is. I feel like personally, of course, it's going to be stronger. You know what I mean? Like personally, I think friendships come out of Love Is Blind more
Yeah.
than yes, marriages do, but I think friendships do more so because they're spending so much time with these people. And I think that's also which is makes the show because that's where a lot of these guys get offended or girls get offended if someone, it's like, hey, I was, liking this person or whatever. But at
Like
the
that
end of,
reunion where that girl was pretending to be homegirl's friend, and she actually had previously dated the guy that she's like all into. I forget their name.
Sarah Ann.
No, not this season. Last season, where there was like a curly-haired girl who had dated in real life one of the guys who was there, and he was falling for a different girl. And then the curly-haired girl was like, "Oh, trying to be her best friend, wipe her tears, do all this," but never actually told her, "Oh, I've dated him before. I know him." And so it looked crazy, and then they ended up breaking up and it not working.
Interesting. I didn't watch last season's. I worked the reunion for that one, but I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was the girl that you had to be in the room with, actually. Oh, that's too much information.
With the tall guy with Miles Milton.
Tall guy. She ended up with the tall guy, and she messed up the relationship with the girl.
Yeah, look, I don't even want flashbacks to that. Okay, I don't even want flashbacks to work in that reunion. All right, so let me know what you guys think about Love Is Blind. What was your tea? I will say they actually. I know Courtney hasn't watched it yet, but I will say this. I truly believe that Clay's gonna get a lot of heat, but I don't believe he actually deserves all of that heat. I think he, in the reunion, and also just kind of talking with him, I think he's definitely owned up. I think AD is.
You think he's sincere about getting help and like, oh, I'm better, because like I said, I was in and out of it. I didn't get to sit and focus on it today. So
do I know if he went to see a therapist? I don't actually know that. What I do know is that. Yeah, I do. You believe him. I do believe him. He didn't come across to me as like that big of a fuckboy, to be honest. Like I can see it. I can see it, but personally, I just. And again, what he says at the reunion is, to me, one of the realest statements of reality person's ever said on a show, is that one day in here feels like a week, and you can't put yourself, to judge people on this. I used to do it all the time. We used to do it at AfterBuzz all the time. Literally, I used to judge every show I watched. Until you work in it and live in it and see it, it's like. It's hard for me to explain because I can't give too much away from another situation, but sometimes you wake up in the middle of things and you're like, what the hell am I doing? Like, what did I sign up for? Because the idea of it is great, you know what I mean? But then it's like, is love really blind? Like, when you see a person, what's her name, Chelsea, when she came running out the wall, like, it was like, oh girl, like. I feel like people were mean to her, calling her Natalie Nunn and stuff like that. Like, please stop it. She's way prettier than Natalie Nunn. And to be honest with you, I get what she meant by the Megan Fox thing, because driving her. Okay, does she look like Megan Fox? No, she looks like Megan Fox. And what's that late night host? David Letterman, not David Letterman. Jay Leno. If Jay Leno and Megan Fox had a baby, it would be Chelsea.
Look, I'm not coming for Chelsea. I simply think that Chelsea, because I was team Chelsea, I just think she set up by saying it, because I can totally get why people would look at her and be like, oh, you remind me of Megan Fox.
Yeah,
not you
her
look
eyes and her cheekbones, like,
I get it.
A rear view mirror.
That's
yes.
Fine. But in this experiment, you should have the wherewithal to know that you cannot say that without setting up a certain expectation. And by saying that, she immediately set up an expectation that she was never going to meet. So and they ain't supposed to know what each other look like anyway. So when he was like, what celebrity do you look like? She's like, I don't know. Like, I look like me. And left it alone. Because as soon as she said Megan Fox, that conjured an entire image that's not her. And that's okay that it's not her, because she's beautiful regardless. But that conjured a very specific image. And that image does not align with what she looks like, and I just am like, leave her alone. Like, she should have known better herself.
She should have. But once again, you guys, like, you are on TV, and in your mind you think to yourself like, oh, if I was on TV, I'm going to present the best version of myself, which that they are presenting the best that they can. However, It's a lot. It is a lot. And sometimes it's like it's a lot to have cameras around you and to these are normal people. You know what I mean? It's not like where you watch Perfect Match where they've been on shows before and they're kind of used to it, or the challenge, and it's these are fresh people who have real it'd be like just you going on it, you know what I mean, me going on it. It's like, I mean, I would be able to play it a little better just because I've seen the worked behind the scenes of it, but like it still would be intimidating. Then you're sitting in this pod all day talking to all these different people, like the conversations get repetitive, boring. It's a lot. Now, what I do want to say though is they gave Mr. Trevor a great edit for the reunion, because watching it live, they chewed him up.
Did they? Because he was out in and out pretty quickly. Because I did see that part.
It was quick. It was quick, but they chewed him up, and I left that reunion being like, okay, Nick Lachey. Like, they cut out a lot of Nick's energy towards him, but Nick was not playing. Nick was not having it. He was very irritated that Trevor did that. And I feel like he got a better edit than what the audience saw live. Shout out to Broken Arrow. What up, Michael? In the building. All right, so let's get into some Housewives, though. The fact that Potomac isn't at its reunion yet is...
The fact that Potomac is even on still.
I'm not going to lie. I don't even know what's going on, to be honest with you, with Potomac. I
couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. I think they went on a trip. I don't know where they went.
I think they went to
that's about all.
DR. Yeah,
okay.
I didn't watch Potomac because I was just like, you know what? I'm in a reunion mindset.
So boring.
I'm in a reunion mindset, and at this point, they should have lined up all the reunions to be right now, because by the time Potomac reunion comes, it's just like, I'm sorry, but personally for me, Miami's taking it. Miami took it. They, out of all the reunions, Beverly Hills is a snooze fest. I'm going to say this. Dorito needs to get off of TV. She's done. We need to get her off the show. Over it. I think that, again, something that I've said to other people, and, when I done shows, is some people are made for it and some people are not. Dorit is not somebody who's made for reality television. I also am going to continue.
She's been doing it for so long.
Yeah, she's just not made for it. Honestly, like it's not. You can see it. She's coming to her crumbling moments, because you can see Kyle, Garcelle knows how to play the game. Erica, fantastic at playing the game. Again, even Sutton, unbearable, but entertaining. But
I love Sutton.
Well, we'll get into it, but here's my thing with Dorit. I think that my problem with Dorit is I still believe that the burglary was an insurance scam. I'm going to say it.
I agree.
At this point, I'm not sold on it. And I said it.
And I actually feel bad for her because of that.
You think it was PK setting it up?
I don't think she was on it. I subscribe to the conspiracy theory that PK did it, not thinking that she would be home. Because I can't imagine that he would have wanted that to happen with the children in the house and her being home.
And so do you think that's what's causing problems between her and PK now?
Possibly. And when she was talking about like how like her rings and stuff were packed up still because they were in a suitcase and she had traveled. And honestly, I think somebody said he must have got his dates jacked up and did some shadiness and is forever remorseful about it. Because obviously, I just don't think he would have wanted her to be there. But something about that whole thing don't sound right. It just doesn't sound right, and it feels like it was a scam. And they're not saying, oh, they caught the people, or look like it don't seem right. The math don't math.
Yeah, and for me, Dorit, it's like the way Dorit takes accountability is, I don't think Dorit's a bad person. I don't think that, and I think she gets so defensive when it comes to Garcelle or even Kyle sometimes, like when they're going back and forth. she gets so defensive versus actually just sometimes you don't have to defend how you felt or how you thought, because I think when we get to Miami, that's my opinion with Larsa. Sometimes you just have to listen and you just say, be grateful that this person is still around and trying to get you to understand a point that you clearly continuously are not getting. So we don't need to figure out why you feel a certain way. What we're trying to get at is why you aren't understanding someone else's feeling. But then when it turns around to you, you want that. And that's where my issue also is with Sutton. Where Sutton, I feel like she just doesn't take accountability at all. And she's
What is she not taking accountability for?
like, girl, just say, I do not like Erica. I don't like Erica. I don't like her. I don't want to pretend like I like her. We can be on the show together. We can be civil. But, like, down to that ticket thing, it was like, girl, you were being shady. Like, just say you were being shady. Oh, no, it was a joke. But then when, who was it? Kyle joked about you. You took it offensively because you like Kyle. You don't like Erica, so it's like a joke. It's not that serious. And, like, it's just little things like that. I also believe that
But I feel like everybody does that. Because when she's talking about the joke, it was the whole thing about the tickets being $1. And then she was like, well, no, they're $7. And she was like, but I'm giving her a leg up. Like, I'm trying to give her.
Right, no. And I think it's funny. No, and I think it's we joke like that. You know what I mean? So I get it. But then when it's done to her, she takes it offensively. And it was just like,
well, I think when it's about specific things, just like everybody has their little things that are triggers. So like you can joke with me about, I don't know, my nails, but like if you joke with me about my eyes, like that's a sensitive thing because I was almost blind and I can't help that I have to wear super thick glasses. So like it's not funny to me if it goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like them joking about her like possibly not having a eating disorder or drinking too much or whatever, like those are specific things that are sensitive because something is really going on, and that's why it doesn't seem balanced. But I think they all have those things. Just like Kyle can't take jokes right now about Morgan Wade, like, because she's clearly fucking her. I didn't say that. I'm just kidding. I don't know what they're doing. Actually, we're not there yet. But that whole situation is actually tough for me to watch. But that's something.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm over defending Sutton, but I don't think she actually dislikes Erica. I just think that I actually think she envies Erica a little bit.
I agree. I think that she thinks Erica's really pretty, living her best life, and there's a freedom that Erica has that Sutton wish she could be. But
100%. But freedom.
Sutton has put herself on this a pedestal box, I guess, if you will, to where she feels like she can't be that. And we almost saw it when she went to the strip show in Vegas, but then she got in her head too much, and she, again, where the girls were like, have fun. And I think that's why Garcelle, stands by her side so much, is because she gets that part of her. But it's also like, girl, I'll stand by your side, but like, I ain't gonna put you gotta be the one to stand up and have fun and let loose, because Garcelle knows how to let loose, and if she's not into it, she's gonna be like, I'm not into it, I'm out. And I respect that about Garcelle, and I wish that would rub off on Sutton a little bit more versus this whole, I feel like Sutton puts a mask on, and it's like, I actually like seeing you without your mask, but I think it's
sorry.
No, I
was just gonna say it was telling to the conversation around her husband, and she very clearly has this like air that she's supposed to be a certain way, and so like you said, the mask that she wears, it kind of slips off, because it's slowly slipped off a little bit more with each season she's been on. She's become a little more relaxed a little more like, oh, okay, like you're a real person, like you have thoughts about things, you do things, whatever. And I think that she just, it's a slow process. It's a shedding. If a man, and granted, he he owes her because she's getting what she is owed in terms of the alimony, a lot of money. But anytime anybody is giving you that kind of money, there's a level of control over it. And then they have a 20+ year relationship in the past that like she clearly was still attached to and still has feelings about, and still felt like, you know, if he tells me I got to go to freaking London because he wants his son closer, I'm going to go. And that she didn't have an option to be like, no. I think that kind of spoke volumes about where her brain actually is. And also going back to why she would feel a way about Erica. I really think it's Erica's freedom and ability to just be in herself and deal with the adversity the way that she wants to deal with it and not take shit from anybody, even if she looks horrible doing and totally unempathetic doing it. She didn't care. She did it her way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Sutton's one of those people between the marriage, her, whatever her upbringing, Southern belle-ness, and like, I'm supposed to be this. She was a ballerina, like the strictness of that sort of lifestyle. She's just now starting to shed in her 50s. And I don't think that's a small or easy thing to do. So I guess that's why I give her a little more weight. A little more grace, I guess, is the word.
Fair enough. Now, Kathy Hilton made an appearance, which was random to me, especially calling her the Grand Dame of LA, of Beverly Hills.
They all gave her like, I mean, they were like, she is Beverly Hills, y'all. Like,
they was like, we're sorry for outing you, yelling at the DJ and saying racial slurs, so we're so sorry. But what's it called? So she came out, and I'm not gonna lie, I definitely feel like Sutton's reaction was a nervousness of, I don't want that. I felt like Sutton's reaction was she knew Erica threw the ball up for Kathy to hit the Erica teed the ball for Kathy to hit it, and she knew it was coming towards her, and that's where, and maybe she really did get anxious about it and then have a quick reaction, but I definitely feel like it was milked purposely, and I think Garcelle knew that too, and Garcelle was kind of like, oh, this is an out for me to not have to sit here for another 3 hours, so yeah, let's go to the hospital, girl. What was your take with that? Did you sense it was a little bit, did you feel like this is a genuine concern? Did you feel like it was more Sutton knowing that the only person that really had any sort of discourse with Kathy was gonna be Sutton?
I don't know, because I was kind of torn, because Kathy like talked about, because Erica like was like, yeah, I said this, because they played the clip of her saying like she called the DJ a slur, and Erica was like, I mean, yeah, I just don't care. And Kathy was like, yeah, Erica just doesn't care about these things. Like, that's not a thing. So I don't really understand. The reason I think that like the Sutton thing had to have just been for real and not really an escape mechanism, because I don't get what the real concern would have been for her. Because the real people that came for Kathy were Lisa Rinna and Erica. So I don't totally get that it would trigger that much of a reaction. And then when she was in the trailer and still shaking, and then when like Garcelle was like, bitch, eat this banana, she looked like drained, sucked life out of her for real. So I was like, well, maybe this is like a legit, I feel like maybe it's a combination of some menopause, hot flashery, and a little bit of anxiety mixed together, and it just all like went left, because it took her heart rate, and the blood pressure was super spiked, like what's her name?
Garcelle.
No. Our beautiful Asian lady. What is her name?
Crystal.
Ooh. Crystal. Why couldn't I come up with that? When her blood pressure went crazy that randomly, and like what have you. Like, it just doesn't seem like there was enough with Kathy to garner that reaction. But maybe I forgot something or missed something. I don't know. Like, I just don't. I don't know. I don't feel like it was that much. And she looked rough sitting down. Once they got her off stage, she still was looking rough. It wasn't like, oh, I'm getting better because I'm off the stage and I don't have to face that. Like,
And to
it
be
just, I
fair,
don't know,
these are long. The
long
reunions
taping.
are long. And was it the Beverly Hills one? Oh no, it was Potomac. One of them, Vice President Kamala Harris was filming something in the same building, so they had to get everyone. It was going to be a longer time that they had to be in there. I can't remember which one that was for, though.
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually think it's Potomac. I actually
I
think
think
it
it's
was.
Potomac. I think it's Potomac.
So that'll be an interesting to see how they all reacted to that. Okay, so what else do we get? We got Kathy and Kyle. I mean, I don't know.
Can we just say if Mo cheated or not? Like, I mean, I know we're all concluding that he cheated, but like, why she won't just say it?
Yeah, I don't get it either. This whole like trying to like save face, it's like you're making it more awkward. It's just, and I would actually respect you guys more if you just were like, you know what? We've been married for so long. We had a great run and a mistake happened. I couldn't forgive it, which she did say that. She did say it was hard for her to deal with it,
Trust.
to
She said
trust
it was
after
hard to
that.
trust.
So
But
that's how I take it. Like she did like in my mind, I feel like that was her way of admitting it versus just saying it. And then
there's also a whole wide range of ways you can betray somebody. Like, it could be something business and financial to do with her family because they were intertwined, and because there was all kind of rumors about like him doing some shady real estate stuff,
yeah,
had her signing something, and like I don't know. I'm like, girl, just
but
say
I
it.
feel like the way she reacted to Kathy saying I don't want to talk about that is a whole different thing. And I feel like I don't know, I put myself in her shoes. Like in a situation like that, I'm a stand by my man. Sorry, I just am. In a situation where cheating, that's where my trust goes to the left. Like
I
really
mean,
to the like no coming back. And I
I
feel
agree
like
with you in terms of the initial family stuff that she didn't want to talk about, like his split from Hilton and Highland.
mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like there's rumors that something else recently has gone down where he did some shady dealings and had her caught up in it because of whatever, and it could cause major problems down the way in terms of some business that he's been doing now, not necessarily something to do
Okay.
specifically with Kathy Hilton and the Hilton family. So just not saying it, I'm like, okay, maybe you're trying to protect your kids, but you're not protecting your kids by letting people speculate about all the possibilities of what it could be. Because if it's not cheating and being unfaithful, and everybody is saying that and like believing that, then your kids are seeing that. But if it's something else business wise that he put you in a precarious situation that you could end up in jail, that's another whole thing. And then people are still speculating about that. And I get it. She's just like, okay, it's none of your fucking business. But you made it our business because you put your relationship on television on purpose to follow your life. So I don't buy into
and
that
now
shit.
we all thinking that you munching some carpet, girl.
And that part, like, can you just say like, no, we're not dating, or
That's what I don't
we're
get.
just
Like
fuck buddies?
just say no. Even if you are and you don't want to talk about it, just say no, we're not. Just come out with a hard
Instead of this
answer.
weird uncomfortable, instead of the weird uncomfortable, like, I don't understand, like, and she's an artist and she just wants to do her music, and like it's like, girl, just say yay or nay, even if it's a lie. Give us some
Right, yeah,
direct
because you're
and
giving me nay. All right, Real Housewives of Miami. Girl, first and foremost, Larsa, way to dress the part of the Wicked Witch. I mean, the queen, way to dress the part of. She was given the witch from Snow White. Like, Mirror,
He was
mirror
definitely
on the wall. Um, Beautiful, but just way to push into the character. Um,
oh, Maleficent. Yes, Maleficent.
Maleficent, yes. Okay,
Mhm.
the other thing was that I thought was interesting that we didn't get the husbands or we didn't get guys on the stage like we normally do, and I feel like okay, I'm torn because part of me wanted to see it to be petty. Also, I cringed at Jordan Jr. What did I write with Jordan Jr.? I cringed when they were watching backstage, which I thought was funny. Him and Jody. Oh, but I cringed at Jordan Jr. wanting to be on the couches to argue for Larsa. Like, why do you want to argue with women? Like, it's weird and it's giving your age. Now look, I'm not mad. I didn't like Larsa being like, "Oh, maybe you're dry." Like, girl, what? Look, and girls, you're
Sid.
mad at her because yeah, she probably is having sex 5 times a day. She's with a man in his early 30s. Like, he's with a hot girl. He's horny. Like, I don't think it's in comparison to the age that these women are with. Yeah, she probably is. And not only that, Larsa's a sexual person. Not only that, she was in a marriage with a man for a very long time who probably was out doing all the things with other people and not giving her that much as we think. So that whole
She said
conversation,
no. She said she was effing Scotty 4 times a night.
well, so look, she needed to
Look,
find herself something young so she could keep up
all
on
the
it.
women on the couch. No, no, no. I'm with the women on the couch, girl. All the like, ooh, sexy, I want to be in the world. 5 times a night, every single night is a lie. I don't believe it for 5 seconds. 5 times a week, maybe 3 times one night, once another night. Like, yeah, 5 times every night, 7 days a week, you bullshitting. Cause your coochie would fall off. Like your shit would be on the flow. Like it would not, that's just not, it's just not fun. It's just
Or he
not.
got a pencil dick.
Oh God. Then that's even worse, Jesse.
That
That
is
means
even
she
worse because that's
planned.
like a little ring the bell, ding a ling a ling a ling a ling, ding a ling a ling a ling a ling, ding a ling a ling a ling. He got to ring it 5 times for her to be satisfied.
The way he was acting and talking, I wouldn't be surprised by that because he turned me. I was just like, oh, I was rooting for you, Marcus. I really was.
Look, and
And
here's the thing.
look, I'm over it. I'm like, go home. I don't ever need to hear from you again. And somebody said he is trying to be the next Peter Thomas, and I almost died.
It's given that, honestly. The other thing that really irked me, honestly, I wish Ronnie was in here because, I'd be giving Larsa benefit of the doubt a lot. But I also didn't like when she was like, oh, we needed more space. And like Marcus, he has a lot of Jordans. Like, we get who he is. Like, we get it, Larsa. You're with a basketball. I'm just like, basketball's a small world. I'm surrounded by basketball. My kids go to basketball, which also Drea and her man.
Ooh, girl. Mm.
I ain't even mad at Larsa anymore. Like, I was never mad at Larsa for this. I don't think that's that crazy. But
The only thing we were mad at Larsa about is acting like it's not a little bit weird. Like it's fine. It's not about the age.
It's about Scott. Yeah.
It's about who he is, not about his age. Like it's just whatever.
Right.
Anyway.
And Drea, it's like, girl, the fact that you have a child that age is where the line should just be crossed. Because a lot of people are saying like, oh, if it was a man, the fact she has a child that is the same age. Now, if she didn't have kids, I wouldn't really bring it up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have a son, like, and they could be like best, it's just strange. It's just, are you okay? Is everything all right, honey?
Like who?
And then,
What
and
do
not
y'all
only that,
talk about?
and wait, and not even that. Not even that. You know what? Here's the other part. I wouldn't even be mad if y'all were dating and having sex and all the things. But you got a baby by him? You have a child, and now you're gonna have a baby. You said what?
I said it definitely feels like a setup to keep a check. Cause it's like, girl, you could get all the good young boy loving, even though it's still a little. I mean, I just feel like under 25 is just weird in general, cause it just feels like childlike a bit to me. But if you're gonna go there, fine. But like, you got pregnant.
Yeah. I
Like,
just maybe she's trying to get
that
on
was
the
a
new
choice.
basketball wise, get back on it.
That was a choice. But
Um,
I understand. Like, he was pursuing it. Everybody act like she was like trying to find. I'm sure he came after her,
I mean, he's fine. I'm
and,
not gonna lie, he cute,
she's
and she's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Like,
Yeah,
and word on the street is she's good at what she does. So
I believe it. It's just
I'm.
the fact you have a son his age and the fact you got pregnant so quickly. It's just strange, girl. But back to Miami. Um,
I mean, but don't hurt with his grandma. Like,
well,
she didn't have him.
now he can live with his baby mama. Um, all right, let's talk about Larsa and Gertie. So
Exhausting.
exhausting. I do appreciate Gertie holding her stance with Larsa because I think we see too many times with Gertie forgiving Larsa, even though they did hug at the end. I still think Gertie will hold this because this was such a serious thing for Gertie. And again, Larsa, it's like you're sitting here versus just holding accountability and saying, because you feel bad. You really do. I really truly think deep down she really knows she should not have told those girls. And you did it. And now you're trying to, Nancy Kerrigan it, Tanya Hardin trying to skate around. Oh, well, I didn't know. How was I supposed to know? How will I know? Like, girl, just say you're sorry. I am so sorry. I messed up.
Well, she
Like,
said she apologized a million times already.
no, but there's difference. Like, because the thing is like, there's things that, like, if you're in a group of friends where you can be, you know what I mean? Like, you can share certain information, but then there's other information that's like, nah, that ain't the thing to talk about. That's like, you have to know where boundaries are like, okay, that ain't my business to tell anybody else here. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that serious. That's, you could have been like, if someone was like, hey, Gertie's acting kind of weird, hey, you know what, you should actually check up on her and make sure, you should probably talk to her. End of story. But what you did was you tried to deflect it because you felt like she was attacking you. Then when she told you, you got defensive about it, and then you went and told those girls, and then now you're getting defensive about it. You're trying to come up with it's like Dorit. It's like you trying to come up with, oh, yeah, bad, boo, bad, bad. Let me explain why we don't care, because it was wrong.
It's wrong. Period. Don't need to explain nothing else. And yes, you've apologized a million times. Apologize one more time. Be like, yep, you right. We here at the reunion. I've apologized already, but I'll apologize to you again. That was out of pocket. Done.
Because it was that big. It was that serious. Like, it was like, that's a trust thing. That's a thing that's like, you've been my friend, but like, now I told you some stuff about my health. Like, and you just so easily went and talked like that. Like, girl, I thought that's how good that Gertie's anger, that's what that feeds. That's what that's giving me. And I'm not mad at her for it. Like, honestly. And I'd be going up for Larsa, but I can't for this. Honestly.
I don't go up for Larsa for nothing. And it's very clear that really she was mad because she heard that Gertie was testing her. And so she takes offense, like, oh, I'm a good friend. I'm a great friend. I'm the best kind of friend. I don't need to be tested. And so she continues to hold on to this, oh, you think I'm fake and you had to test me and I'm a liar and I'm this, that, and other. I don't need to apologize to you for anything. It's like, but broad, you did wrong still.
Right. Now, the only one that I would say, like, the only piece that she had to stand on was when the initial thing where they were arguing with each other, and then Gertie just kind of blurted out, I have cancer, and Larsa was like, how was I supposed to know? Fine, that's a fair reaction. That's not what we're talking about. You keep holding on to that.
I love that you said it's a fair reaction.
I mean, that is a fair reaction. Like, oh my God, like, I didn't know like that.
No, it's not. This is why a chip is missing. a fair reaction might be, oh my God, I had no idea.
Right.
Not, how was I supposed to know that? That's a different thing. Those are two
No.
very different
Well,
things. And
yes.
that
Now, no, but yes,
there's a
agree.
thing. She's missing something.
Well, no, she had a chip, because the next piece that she followed with that chip was, she said, "How was I supposed to know? I'm still here with you. I'm still like in the world of like, okay." But then your next thing was, "Are you sure?" Girl, who is joking about something like that? Like, that's crazy.
Wait, didn't she say, how do you know? How do you know? Bitch, because I went to the doctor. Like, I didn't just make it up.
Yeah, I don't know. So sorry,
Is
Larsa.
that or is that Larsa for real? Like, girl,
No,
is
I think
this you
that's
for real?
yes. I think Larsa has been. I think Larsa has seen a lot of things. I do have empathy for who Larsa is in her story. I don't think she's ever expressed it in real time. Feel like what makes me understand her is knowing girls like her. And that's where my empathy is. But again, Courtney will tell you, all those girls have burned me. But in the end, I still have some sort of empathy for them, because they don't know how to get out of their own head, and they don't know how to get out of that place of, to be honest, like, not that it gives that, but like the script we just read, Courtney, like, it's very me. I can't even focus on you unless you're like attaching yourself to me like an amoeba.
In
That's
this
my
case, she's self-absorbed.
Yes, very self-absorbed. And now you're dating a man that feeds that, because I think that they are just, the fact they went on Traders together, the fact that he made that comment about wanting to jump on stage and defend her is crazy to me. I'm just like,
Do you get slow from them?
no, I don't. Okay, slow in the sense of young. And I've said this to you before.
Neither of them are young.
Huh?
But neither of them are young. Larsa's 50 years old.
No. I get it, but remember I said to you why I do feel bad for Larsa is because I think she lived so much of her life under Scotty and trying to play a role, and then had to raise these kids, and now she's out of it and she's trying to redefine herself. I think that yes, she's 50, but it's like mentally she's not there. You know what I mean? Like, what do they say with trauma? It's like you are the age that your trauma happened or something like that. That's what she gives me, to be honest with you. And Marcus, it's like his dad is Michael Jordan, so can imagine how he was raised. That's what they give me. They just give me that young-minded, stunted growth. What did you think about everyone kind of coming at Marisol this reunion as the liar, the pot stirrer? All the girls kind of took a little shot at her, which
I'm
she is,
pretty
but
sure
she's
it's
entertaining.
probably not unfounded, because I think Marisol kind of turns her nose up to most of them for the most part. But I don't know. Like, she also kind of doesn't seem to care. So whatever. Except for when Alexia came for her, she was not happy.
Nope. And I love that they at least gave us a little bit of that at the end, because obviously the reunion was over. But that's where I was like, oh wait, not the TT coming through, because everything else was meh. Like Lisa, girl. Honestly, my other thing with Lisa is I think Lisa is giving Dorit as well. I think it's time. I think you went through something so deep and dark. I know she won't leave the show. I think you went through something so deep and dark that you need to maybe be a friend of for like 2 seasons. Get your stuff together, and then maybe we can revisit this. But I just feel like you got a lot going on, and maybe being on TV. I know you need the checks, but maybe being on TV ain't the situation. And do you need the checks? Because he paying for the house, right?
I think she need to check something because we don't think that house ever gonna get built.
Oh, not Sheba Sheree. Not wait, what was it? Chateau.
So Sheree,
What's his name?
Chateau Lenny, Chateau Hochstein.
Chateau
I mean,
Hochstein.
you don't know the details, and obviously, like she's like, it's a court order. He has to build it. It's like, but does he have a timeline he's got to build it in? Raw materials are, harder to come by since COVID. Like, there's all kinds of reasons why this could be delayed. And the house is never going to be in your name. It's only in the kid's name. And he seemed like the kind of dark mofo that will like build a house like the day before the last kid turns 18 and is like, yo, you got to kick your mom out the house. She don't need to be there.
Oh, yep. And put it under the kid's name.
It has to be under the kids' names. That's part of the deal. It's under the kid's name, not her name.
Ooh, bye, Lisa.
Wild to me. I'm like, girl, you should have just took a check and went and found yourself a house, lived your life, and move on. Because this sounds crazy as hell to me.
And then we get Lisa versus Kiki. Do you think Lisa looks down on her, or does it give again? This is where I wrote she gives me Dorit vibes. It's just like you're not hearing.
Well, I think Dorit vibes are actually, you hear it perfectly fine. You just don't see what the problem is with it.
Yes, okay.
Because I think that, I don't think that she consciously looks down on anybody and like, oh, I'm better than you. But I do think she looks down on that situation and anyone that would come from that situation and then gets shaken back to reality. Like, yo, you got a friend that's from that situation. And then she's like, oh, well, it still sucks. Like, but in her head, she's like, oh, let me filter it. But, so I just think she is just one of those people that like, what's actually in her head came out her mouth.
Yeah.
So to be like, everybody's like, oh, she doesn't mean anything. She is the good person. It's like, has nothing to do with you being a good person or whatever. Like, your perspective is a certain level of looking down upon another situation that you deem bad. And you judge the people in that situation. So you're like, oh, they clearly can't have happy dogs or take care or even have happy lives because they live like that. And it's not necessarily true. Just because you don't have all the things in the world doesn't mean you can't live a happy life.
Mm-hmm.
Or be happy or care for your kids or care for your animals, which is what Kiki was trying to say. Like, no, this wasn't the most like life of things, but we had love and we had care and we had joy. Like, that shit matters too.
It does.
But Lisa ain't trying to see that. She just want to make sure she got her house on Star Island with some Birkins and her Rolls Royce or whatever it is that she wants to drive. And she's not about that life.
Nope. Give me my coins. She said Mario. Bling, bling, bling. All right. Before we wrap up, though, so then I want to talk real quick about Traders with you because we haven't. But the opera ending, I'm like, not you out here lip syncing opera, but the beat drop was cute. But
it was precious. I thought it was precious. It was precious. Julia's such a hero.
She's such.
But also Marisol like refusing to get up and partake in the fun. I'm just like, girl.
Well, I also think Marisol, again, they're there for hours, and Marisol's, not a spring chicken.
She was salty because that's why Alexia had to come sit down, and she was like, well, you said I don't listen or I forget stuff and I'm a liar. It's like, bitch, you do.
Oh, girl, you be drinking and and forgetting. It's okay.
We drink all the time.
It's okay. All right, so real quick, Traders, because we did that episode and talked about it. Then I didn't get to talk to you last week because I was just exhausted. Poor MJ and Trishelle and CT. All I want to say to you is, I don't even care about CT because, I mean, at that point, I feel like the whole thing was rigged. I feel like CT and Trishelle went in there and smoked it out and was like, look.
Seriously? From the
Yeah,
beginning?
yes, because think about it. They played this game in the sense of Trishelle was a part of one group and CT was a part of the other. They're gamers. They've been doing this for years. It's almost the smartest way to act like they're not really in sync with each other, so people won't target the two of them, but then they can also get intel on different groups. And I feel like CT was getting the Bravo intel because Phaedra was letting him in. And then Trishelle was with, Peter and the Faithfuls. And so, yeah, I feel like it was the way that ending ended. I feel like the whole thing was a setup. And they basically were like, we're going to get the money, just you and me. And we have to know that it's just going to be you and me. Which they took a chance because if MJ had picked Trishelle that first time, that would have been the gag. Or no.
Oh, CT. If she
picked CT, that would have been the gag. But Trishelle knew that MJ was, again, because MJ was from the Bravo group with CT. So, and Broken Arrow says, I'm mad Trishelle won. Trashelle. Me too. I am. And, even though it is a game and it is what they're supposed to do, I think for me, I'm such a Bravo head that I wanted someone from the Bravo world to win. I think Kate, she messed her game up.
She screwed herself up for sure with her reaction to Phaedra. That screwed it all up for her.
And I think Phaedra messed up by not bringing Peter instead of Kate. If she had brought Peter, she could have, I believe, made it to the very end, because then you could have almost then picked Peter, pointed it at Peter. Then when they kick him out and realize he was a traitor, then you could have put it on Trishelle. And you could have had everyone rethinking, like, wait a minute, maybe Peter, Trishelle, John, that group is the traitors versus a Bravo person.
I definitely think that was her only potential path to freedom. And she kind of screwed that up. But just like in the reunion, I understand why she is still salty at Dan's raggedy behind.
100%.
Because jacked her game all the way up, and she would have been totally cool if he had never done that. And it hurts me, but I don't know if I subscribe to CT and Trishelle from Jump Street, because obviously they definitely, like, somewhere midpoint through decided to completely work together. But all I know is at the end of it, my heart, this is why I don't like Traitors. I was like, I could never be on Traitors because I'm way too loyal, and I would be hot, hot like fire. Like I just couldn't do it. And I just want, if nothing else, I want the Shahs of Sunset to come back to TV, because I miss MJ and her crew, because my heart broke a little bit for her. I was like, dang. I didn't cry like I did with Australia. That actually brought tears to my eyes.
Yo, if you guys have not watched Traitors Australia Season 1, when I tell you,
broke my whole heart for that man.
The through game, don't say anything else, because if you haven't watched it, I totally recommend watch it. Just like TV, like what the show is supposed to be, they delivered, but it is like
painful. It is painful.
Honestly, more than MJ. More than this one with MJ.
Yes, way more than MJ. Because the feelings are real. Like, you really think you are, like, being loyal and true to people, because you have to try to make alliances and, like, work with people in some way, and to be betrayed. I couldn't do it. I'd be gonna kill somebody. Can't do it.
Well,
but it was good. It was good.
Boom. All right, that's all for this week. I knew we was gonna be able to talk for a whole hour. I was just like, we cannot.
We did it. We did it again.
What I'm saying? Courtney, where can everyone follow you?
Child, y'all can find me on the Instagrams as Stuart Starlet, and apparently never on TikTok because they trying to shut it down.
Well, I heard that they ain't gonna shut it down as quick.
No, they're not. It's never gonna get shut down. They just want to sell it to an American company. It'll be fine.
Right. Mark Zuckerberg's probably mad. He's like, to the government, please, I want.
He wants to buy it, child, but he can't.
Oh. Well, y'all can hit me up everywhere at DJ Jesse J Hit. Follow Next Mood Swing across the board. I'm really excited shooting my first interview for the official podcast this weekend, finally. So yeah, look out for that. Until next week, same time, same place. Peace.